Welcome everyone. Today I'll be presenting our research on how collaboration context and personality traits shape the social norms of human to avatar identity representation. I'm Seoyoung Kang from KAIST, and this work is a collaboration with my wonderful colleagues, Kangsoo Kim from University of Calgary, Jonathan Gratch from University of Southern California, Boram Yoon, and Woontack from KAIST. Let's begin. Today's virtual environments open up new possibilities for self-expressions, enabling individuals to dramatically alter aspects of their identity in ways that go beyond the physical world limitations. Despite these expanded possibilities, we've observed that social norms continue to play a crucial role in governing what's considered appropriate in these virtual spaces. However, we currently have limited understanding of how these social norms actually influence people's choices in avatar modification. Therefore, we aim to conduct a research about social norms in human-to-avatar identity representation. So first, our study investigates how perspective, deviations from one's real-world appearances, and diverse interaction contexts influence the perceived appropriateness of avatar modifications. Secondly, we explored personality factors, focusing on two specific traits, self-monitoring tendencies and Machiavellianism, which are related to self-expression and impression management, which could be also related to avatar representation behaviors. Therefore, our study addressed these three fundamental questions about social norms in avatar modification. First, we examined how perspective influences the perceived appropriateness of modifications, whether judging one's own avatar or others. Second, we investigate how social norms vary when avatars deviate from true appearances in terms of different attributes in different contexts. Finally, we explore how personality traits influence these modification choices. To address this, we ran an online-based survey with 150 participants asking the social norms in human-to-avatar identity representation, especially in terms of avatar modifications. The study was conducted through Qualtrics and distributed via Amazon Mechanical Turk with IRB approval from USC. These are the main survey questions from our study. Participants are asked to rate modification appropriateness on a 5-point Likert scale. First, we asked participants to imagine creating an avatar that represents them in different settings, A1, A2, A3. We specifically examined how appropriateness varied across different social contexts such as workplace, socializing with friends or family, and socializing with strangers. Secondly, we measured how appropriate they felt it was to modify their avatar's appearance along the following dimensions: accessories, clothing, hair, body dimension, age, emotional expression, gender, race, and face swap. These 9 attributes were further categorized into 4 main groups: changeable attributes, unchangeable attributes, emotional expressions, and face swap. We also asked perceptions of avatar modifications made by others. Participants were asked how appropriate it would be for a colleague, friend, family member, or a stranger to create an avatar that differs from their real-life appearances. So here in our study, we examined social norms across 3 dimensions: attribute, perspective, and context. First, as we have mentioned, we categorized modification attributes into 4 distinct types. Changeable attributes represent surface-level modifications, while unchangeable attributes like race, gender, and age shows the core identity elements. We included emotional expressions and face swap, as these represent increasingly common modification options in virtual environments. Second, we explore perspective effects. This dimension is particularly important because people often judge their own modification differently from others. This distinction helps us to understand the dual standards that might exist in virtual social norms. Lastly, we investigate context influence. We chose to study different social contexts because nowadays virtual interactions span various environments from professional meetings to casual social gatherings. We specifically chose to examine self-monitoring and Machiavellianism as key personality traits influencing avatar modifications. First, self-monitoring tendencies reflect how individuals adjust their behavior based on social cues. Imagine someone who's highly aware of and responsive to social expectations. On the other hand, Machiavellianism traits indicate a more strategic approach to social interactions. So here, think of someone who might modify their avatar specifically to achieve certain social goals. By focusing on these two traits, we aim to understand the psychological factors that influence modification decisions and adherence to social norms in virtual environments. To summarize, the survey began with demographic questions, followed by participants' background questionnaires. Next, we provided a brief introduction to metaverse and avatar modification to ensure participants had a clear understanding of these concepts within the survey's context. Participants then rated the appropriateness of various avatar modifications across different perspectives, contexts, and attributes. Open-ended questions were included to gather their reasoning behind what they considered appropriate or inappropriate. Finally, the survey concluded with personality questionnaires measuring self-monitoring tendencies and Machiavellianism. So from now, we'll briefly introduce the results. Our statistical analysis revealed significant patterns and social norms across different dimensions. So first, for perspective, we found a significant effect where modifications to others' avatars were generally considered more socially acceptable than self-modifications. Context also played a crucial role, with social norms being notably stricter in workplaces. Acquaintance settings showed higher appropriateness compared to workplace environments. Attribute showed strongest statistical significance among all factors, especially changeable attributes received highest appropriateness, and unchangeable attributes and face swap demonstrated lowest appropriateness. We also explore the relationship between personality traits and perceived appropriateness of avatar modifications. We can see how these personality traits correlate with modification preference from both self and partner perspectives, in context, and attributes. So to conclude, our research reveals several important patterns. For self-monitoring, we see consistent negative correlations across all dimensions. The strongest impact is on emotional expression modifications, and this suggests that high self-monitors generally prefer more authentic avatar presentations. And for Machiavellianism, we observe predominantly positive correlations. The strongest effect is on unchangeable attributes. This indicates higher Machiavellianism scores correlate with greater modification acceptance. Lastly, we explore the various reasons why people choose to modify their avatar in virtual environments. We asked the participants, please list some appropriate reasons to modify your avatar's appearances. Our analysis revealed 6 major themes, with many participants citing multiple reasons that often overlapped across these categories. Personal expression was one of the primary motivators for avatar modification. Users view their avatar as extensions of themselves, with many emphasizing the importance of authentic self-representation. The social aspect of avatar modification was also important to users. Participants emphasized the need to adapt their virtual appearances based on context and situation. The psychological aspect of avatar modification was also a significant theme, with participants highlighting its role in emotional well-being. Also, our research identified 3 additional significant motivations: style and convenience, humor and novelty, and privacy and safety. So, to wrap up, our findings highlight key implications for system design and user customization. First, Customization should be context-aware, adapting to different social settings. Second, it is essential to respect core identity elements. Users prefer surface-level customization that preserve their fundamental identity. Lastly, personalization should be informed by user personality traits. So by incorporating personality-aligned tools, systems can offer tailored experiences that enhance user satisfaction and engagement. This is it for our presentation, and thank you for listening.